Good afternoon, viewers. I welcome you to this second session of the series of interaction that Birla Institute of Management Technology, Greater Noida, has started with various experts from the various sectors of Indian economy. Today, we would be discussing on the issue of modern retail, and the topic for the day is modern retail in the post-COVID era, opportunities and challenges. And we have with our expert, Mr. Amit Sharma, Vice President, Future Group, one of the best retailers in the India, who can give us an idea about what is happening to the retail sector now and what would be the future for the retail sector in India, specifically modern retail we are talking about over here. Now, to start with, let me tell you my views initially that we have been living in a VUCA world for the last so many years. But this VUCA, that is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, this whole thing has actually exponentially increased in the COVID era. So what has happened is the situation has become very complex and fluid now. The whole economy has been hit, and obviously retail sector has been hit a lot, because as we all know that retail sector provides maximum employment to the people in India, though unorganized sector constitutes a major portion of that. But even the organized retail itself has been providing jobs to the new skilled workforce that we are seeing in the present era. So what is happening is retail sector exists only when there is a good demand and supply, the whole economy as such, but retail more so. Now if you see, the demand has been hit because of the reduced income of the people. Many have been rendered jobless, some have got a cut in the salary, okay, and there is an uncertainty looming large. Every other day a new situation is emerging, and that's why we realize that government is taking regularly new steps to handle the situation. And on the supply side itself, as far as grocery and food material are concerned, obviously it is not much of an issue except for the transportation. But for other categories like electronics, specifically mobile phones and others, it has been hit badly because of the problems from China. So the supply and the demand both has impacted the retail sale altogether. Now, what has happened is that with a change scenario where people are more conscious about social hygiene, social distancing, sorry, and hygiene, people are looking for customized delivery. Many of the retailers have moved to providing customized delivery. Now, when people want delivery in their home, then they are not ready to go to the stores. Though malls are opening up with the unlock process going on, but still the footfalls are very low at this point of time. Now, what the reason being, obviously people are apprehensive about again social distancing issues. Though modern retailers are taking care of that by ensuring that you take prior appointments, okay, they are controlling the number of footfalls per minute or per hour inside the store to ensure all this, but still it will take some time. Yes, what has happened in the turn is online has seen a surge in growth in some specific categories, especially food and general merchandise. Now, for the other products categories like apparels, you must be witnessing that many of the retailers are giving a lot of discounts to lure customers to come and buy the products, or for some of the electronic products as such. But then still things are far from normal as such. Yes, for example, if we see that apparel till May, there was a dip of 50% in the sale. Similarly, electronics and consumer durables, there was a dip of minus 54%. Four-wheelers, there was a drastic dip of 69%. And two-wheelers, again, around 52%. But if you see the report 3 days back, Hero MotoCorp says that they have been able to achieve 90% of their pre-COVID sales in the month of June itself. So what has happened is, in the unlock, when people have started again going to the office, keeping the social distancing in mind, the best way of commuting and in a cheap manner is that of a two-wheeler. So you see, situation is changing very fast on a monthly basis again. Now, given this scenario, what should be the approach of the retailers? How the retailers should handle this situation? What is the present scenario that we are witnessing now? So I would request Mr. Amit Sharma first to give some light about the overall scenario in the retail sector in India and across globe, because he has an exposure to retail sector across globe also. Yes, sir, please.
Thank you, Professor Pankaj, and thanks for your views and insights, especially the facts and figures on how the categories are performing in India, both online, offline. Some categories are witnessing a surge in demand when it comes to online. Some are witnessing a surge in demand when it comes to offline, especially the channels. Like offline channels, especially mom and pop stores, are witnessing a huge. They become a dominant force in last 3 months in terms of grocery product. See, India is a very popular market. Unlike developed economies, so we have organized retail, we have unorganized retail. Still, majority of retail happens in unorganized sector. It's around 80 to 85% still in unorganized stores. We can say mom and pop stores, or we can say kirana stores, which are like around 15 million, 1.5 crore small stores across India. Then we have organized, which is anywhere between 10 to 12% of the total retail. And then we have e-commerce, which is still 3 to 5% of overall retail. But general, if you take overall retail in India, is around 950 US billion dollars. That's the overall retail. And we are the fourth largest economy. The first is US, followed by China, then Japan, and then India as the fourth largest retail economy. And very soon, looking at our demographics, young population, 1.3 billion people, very soon we'll be the third largest retail player, retail economy worldwide. Okay, so globally, in when it comes to retail, whether you take North America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia Pacific, especially China, Japan, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So you will see in North America, online has witnessed a 5% surge. So they were around 15% market penetration. In last 3 months, they have achieved the growth for next 5 years. That's the news there. So from 15%, the economy is like Canada, Mexico, or US, which grows around 1%. Their online penetration has grew by 5% in last 3 years, from 15% to 20%. So if you take percentage wise, they have more or less doubled their retail penetration in last three. So that they were supposed to achieve at 2025, but they were able to achieve thanks to
Achieve
COVID
it now.
in last 3 or 4 months. So there are many retailers, whether it is Gap or Walmart, Instacart. So they have witnessed even Best Buy. They have witnessed a low sales in their offline, but they were trying to compensate the loss in sales on offline channel through their online presence. So net they are down in sale, but online has been their saver for the day, if you ask me. Same is happening in India, like what you rightly mentioned, the figures. So online retail is around 90% pre-COVID level. So in March, suppose Amazon was doing X, they are just doing minus 10% of that figure after the unlock has started. I think unlock 1 and unlock 2. But when it comes to offline, especially the organized sector, whether it is malls or high street, still the brands are 20 to 30% of the pre-COVID sale. So you can see a 70% dip currently, even after the lockdown has been eased out. I'm talking about across India. But again, certain states are doing good, whether you can take Bihar, UP, especially the high street, where the sales have reached pre-COVID level to around 45%, 40 to 50%. So India, if you see, there is not one story. There are multiple stories because we always say every state in India is a country itself. Consumption pattern, language, ethnicity, food habits, dressing, festivals. So every state is witnessing, showing a different trend. Like in West Bengal, we were seeing the demand is, of course, not pre-COVID level, but is somewhere satisfactory. When it comes to Maharashtra, because the lockdown is still going on, it's a very harsh lockdown, at least till 31st of July, we are seeing only 30 to 40% sale. I'm talking about across retailers in India. Uh, One emerging trend which has come here is brands are now preferring more high street stores rather than malls. Because as a consumer, going to a mall is more riskier when it comes to
Yeah.
this risk of COVID and getting infected by COVID. But in a high street, you have this privilege of going to one store, do your shopping, and come back, not taking stress of parking. You can just park outside the store. Those things are very helpful. So brands might, in the long-term planning for their store expansion, might look for stores on high streets rather than malls. That is one emerging trend which we are seeing. But again, as you rightly mentioned, situation is changing week wise. Actually, the we can't do a planning for a year. Or I think we can't do a
Yeah.
planning for a month, because
Month
every
also.
week there's some new thing is happening. Yes, sir.
As you were just mentioning about the increase of sales in Bihar and UP, uh, I feel that isn't that gives us an idea that there is still lot of opportunity that is yet to be tapped in tier 2 cities across India for the modern retailers?
Absolutely. See, tier two and tier three cities. I was taking some numbers. Amazon supply, Amazon, Flipkart. If you put them together, they are supplying to 95% of the pin codes in India. So we have around 1,99,000 pin codes. So e-commerce players, if you include Snapdeal, Flipkart, and Amazon, they have been able to do their delivery in 95% of pin codes. The problem with modern retail, what happens, that there are only 10 to 15,000 pin codes which are serviceable. Serviceable in
Okay.
terms of opening a store, looking at the supply chain, looking at the road transport, looking at the employees, uh, and looking at the kind of real estate which you want. So there is a massive opportunity. So from 10,000 pin codes or 15,000 serviceable pin codes to 1,90,000. So you can see the gap. So there's a huge scope when it comes to tier two and tier three cities. Second again some numbers. So in terms of t-shirts, small towns like Gorakhpur is as good as Gurgaon when it comes to t-shirt consumption. That
Okay.
was a figure, yeah, I think, by Amazon. Many small cities, not even Gorakhpur, even Patna, Lucknow, Coimbatore, in terms of consumption of apparel and footwear, they are head to head or neck to neck when it comes to Ahmedabad, Bombay, Gurgaon, Bangalore, and Chennai. That's so. These are again emerging metros, but you can see there is no comparison between Mumbai and Gorakhpur, right? But you see the comparison in terms of t-shirt consumption. So aspiration level of people in small towns has gone high, thanks to media, thanks to internet penetration, thanks to mobile penetration, and again rising literacy rates. Because of that, the aspiration level has gone up, and they also want that the brand which is available for their peers or their counterparts in metro cities. So there is a huge potential, of course, provided the biggest concern comes in supply chain, the distribution of goods from the manufacturing or from your warehouse till the store. If that challenge is getting sorted out, then I think modern retail will sure go for tier two and tier three.
So, the issue that you are talking about is yes, there are opportunities in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities for the offline retailers to penetrate, but the challenges largely lie in the supply chain, basically.
Yeah, largely like
So, so in order to handle this aspects to get better control of the supply chain, what do you think retailers should do in order to have increase their accessibility to this market, or should they tie up with some local players, or should they set up their own dedicated supply chain unit? For example, Future Group has some of the units which only cater to their own other stores like that. So similarly, should they have their own transport system dedicated, or should they tie up with third parties who are totally on a contract basis who can handle the supply chain? So any comments on that?
See, again, I'm not a supply chain expert as such, but the basic common sense what we derive when we do go to stores on daily basis, that it comes the planning goes backward. So in terms of your store expansion or in terms of your current footprint, so suppose you are entering a new state like Nagaland. So best is, so you have a footprint strategy plan for the entire northeast. So how you start from Sikkim, then go to Nagaland or might be Assam, Mizoram, these small states. Then you make sure that for all these seven northeast states, you have a dedicated your own warehouse. Might be in a place called Siliguri. Siliguri, we say, is the Nagpur for Northeast, right? Centrally
Okay.
located across here. So we have some dedicated over there. Then look at how many number of stores you're going to open in next 2 or 3 or 5 years period of time. Based on that, you can do the investment or in your warehousing capacity or in your supply chain technology. Otherwise, initially, if you're planning to have 1 or 2 stores, you can always what you mentioned. You can always have a third party alliance, a company which is very good in Northeast in terms of supply chain. Tie up with them, learn the nuances, and as as you go forward in terms of opening more number of stores, then you need to rely on your own facility, might be in terms of warehousing or supply chain technology. I think that should how the approach should be. And looking at the COVID, nobody want to do too much of investment and block their funds. Financial prudence is a great big learning for all the
Critical.
creators. Yes, is very critical. So why to do unnecessary investment when it is not
Investment.
required?
So now, since as you have talked about, yes, the investments are high as far as offline is concerned, and people's apprehension of going to the stores. So obviously, the other way out is online.
Right.
So when it comes to online, already obviously, as you just mentioned, that there has been a surge all over the world, in India
Right.
also. So to take it further along, means what opportunities and challenges do you see for online retail in India?
Okay. So one big opportunity. So this is the personal anecdote which I'm sharing with you. I'm in touch with few of entrepreneur friends who supply products to companies like Walmart, Target from India in F&B, in fashion, and also to Future Group, to Reliance, to DMart, to many other companies. So I was just asking them how the COVID has impacted your sales, bottom line, what you're doing in manpower, and what you're doing in terms of increasing your sales. So, like one example, this guy is into dry fruits, one of the biggest wholesaler distributor in the country. Sorry, sorry. Sorry. Yesterday, while going to office, I think that's the negative side of going to office during these days. So I got wet in rain. So I think that's how it is impacting. Because in last 4 months, I was just telling my wife that none of us has fallen ill in last 4 months because we are just indoor, eating the best quality food, no pollution. And I think yesterday I spoke to her, and today I think a basic cold. So a law of attraction, you can say, law of negative attraction. Okay, so coming back to online. So this guy is the biggest distributor when it comes to dry fruits. So you are saying we have witnessed 70% down in 70% sales hit by offline channel, but in online, what we are doing, we are trying to do a DTC model, direct to consumer. So in online, you have two things: either you sell through your own website, or you sell through marketplaces like Flipkart, Amazon, or Snapdeal, or ShopClues, many other companies. So they're like we are focusing on online. Even in online, we have two strategies. One strategy focusing only on marketplace, how we can increase our sales. Second is how we can get more customer, or I'll say transport the customer from marketplace to our own website, so that we get more margins, because on online marketplace you give margin
Yes,
anywhere
yes,
between 20% to 30%. How we can save
yes.
that margin, and plus we have direct control over the customers when we are directly. So people are selling on WhatsApp. Okay, so there is another channel which is getting emerged in India. So he's like, I am taking orders like 20,000 minimum bill on WhatsApp. And
Okay.
people in India, WhatsApp has got the highest penetration in India.
Yes,
So people are very
definitely.
comfortable, very, very
Yes,
comfortable. Like
yes.
I know I have ordered dry fruits, and it was around 18,000 rupees. I think for me, my parents, and my sister, for three families, he delivered within a week's time. I was very comfortable. Cash on delivery and everything is done. Even you want to pay online, and you want to pay through digital payments, you can do that. So I think online has got greater opportunity in terms of getting more small players on their marketplaces. And of course, there was data on Amazon, Flipkart in last 3 months. It has increased twofold in terms of SMEs entering on their marketplace. Second, again, then what you mentioned in terms of grocery, because online in India still groceries is offline or unorganized market. Because of this pandemic, people have started buying groceries online. So that change in habit is a big shift for, or a big positive shift for online retailers.
So you just mentioned about this WhatsApp and the data you gave. Do you think that henceforth, WhatsApp as a channel would be the new focus of the online retailers. Rather, they would be expecting more business from WhatsApp than what they are getting now from the other online channels in India.
Absolutely right. Believe me, I have written in my diary at this point, and I was just bought a new laptop, and on this I can't show you, but they have it's a HP laptop, and they have mentioned WhatsApp support, and they have mentioned the number. That is on the
Okay.
first thing on the left hand side, and then on right side for feedback, call center. Then follow us on HP, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Insta. But first thing which no got my eyes hooked to it is was the WhatsApp support, right? So, and in India, of course, I know the SMEs who do their entire business on WhatsApp, and that too WhatsApp voice. I think when we interacted last week, I was sending messages through
Yes,
voice.
yes.
So I learned from them for everything because they can't type in English. Okay, Hindi becomes very difficult, cumbersome. So
Cumbersome.
voice bheja immediately. The person will revert. Okay, how much quantity you want? Okay, yes, okay,
G.
and dispatch it done. So WhatsApp as a news channel is a very dominant, I think. Second is very, very user friendly. Very user friendly. Like my mother can order on WhatsApp. She was like, okay, I am doing some placing some order. You send a voice message. He will confirm, and your order is done. So I think, but again, time will is the only answer to whether this channel will take the shape as good as online channel.
Online channel. Yes,
And
you are right. You are saying that one of the strong aspects which WhatsApp can leverage upon is this voice thing. That मैं अपनी भाषा में बोल सकता हूँ एंड
right,
और उसमें कम्युनिकेट करना भी इजी होता है गिवन द लिटरेसी लेवल विच इज नॉट वेरी हाई and issues like the ease instead of typing, as you rightly said, I can immediately give in a voice order and the goods can be delivered. ये आपने सही बोला. But this is on the positive opportunity. But what are the challenges in the online retail? इसमें क्या क्या हो सकता है?
see, I think what I feel personally, language is one of the biggest challenge when it comes to India. Online retailers in India. And I was checking some numbers. As of now, there are 100 million people who speak English when it comes to online and type in English. So their queries and whatever is in English. By 2022, by 2025, the vernacular language search will go to 500 million in India. That's the number by
Okay.
Bain and Company. So you can imagine 500 million speaking vernacular language and searching goods in their vernacular language. So I was just checking last, I think 2 weeks ago, Google announced that they have wrote in Amitabh Bachchan as their ambassador. And so Google map में जो background में आवाज आती है, that will be of Amitabh Bachchan going forward, right?
Okay.
So so I was telling my father, and my father-in-law was a big fan of Big B. So they were like, यार map कौन use करता है? गाड़ी रुकाया, बाजू में बंदे से पूछा, boss किधर जाना है? Where is this place? And they will guide you. That's how we do in India. Especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. But now with Amitabh Bachchan, there is a catch. So we'll listen to his voice and we'll get the direction also. So
Okay.
a very smart move, what I think by Google. So same thing. One biggest challenge would be the language thing. So e-commerce player has to make sure that vernacular thing and vernacular voice in the vernacular language. So if I would say something in Marathi, immediately I can see in that, or in Tamilian or in
Yeah.
Malayalam, and Telugu, it should immediately come. That is one big challenge, I think. Second, I think again in terms of groceries. See, in India, the patience level when it comes to, we say road rage, right? From road rage, we see the number of accidents, the patience level has gone down globally. And see, look at the divorce rate, right? So the patience level has gone down,
That's
might be because of digital, yes. So waiting for delivery for grocery for 2 days or one day still is like a task for most of us. So I'll give an example. I live in Andheri West in Mumbai. So 10 minutes from my house, there is a store called a Chheda Stores, Chheda Dal Mill. Very big, renowned from last 50 years. And my wife used to place orders from there, all atas, desi. Otherwise, from other general merchandise from Big Bazaar, which is near to our house. So immediately in after the lockdown, April mid, he sent a message to my wife that, Madam, we have opened online Chheda online store. You can order from there. Pankajji, you will not imagine. You placed order now. It's around 12:24, 12:30. It will be delivered by 5:30 or 6 o'clock. I'm talking about my house. I was talking to his owner. So his owner's son has done the entire digital transformation for Chedas online. ये like सर 5 घंटे में हम डिलीवरी देते हैं at your doorstep, whatever you want, even at the store, at the house. So my when it got delivered at my home, my wife told, no, I don't want this atta by mistake, I've ordered. We were like, ठीक है, you can immediately return it. So there is no problem of return. You place an online query, then somebody will come. Like in online, what happens? Amazon or Flipkart, Snap, the guy will come. He can't take your order back. He says, I'm not authorized.
Yes.
You need to again log in. Here, the person is like, okay, madam, you give me the order, minus that much amount. So अगर 2,500 का बिल हुआ है तो 200 रुपए minus करके आप 2,300 मुझे दे दीजिए. That's again ease of use. Might be because there are only one store, but for us, we are hooked to that Cheda online store, if you ask me.
Sure.
So that one challenge, looking from India, so delivery like within stipulated time and easy and seamless return. So need not wait for another guy and then make sure वो packet आपके घर पे अच्छे से पड़ा है. Immediately you can return the product, minus that amount, and you're done. So I think that experience is still missing here in India.
Okay, so do you think that one way of surmounting these challenges to tie up, as far as the general merchandise or grocery is concerned, I'm talking about this category, to tie up with the local departmental stores or kirana walas who can deliver in a much smaller time rather than you maintaining your hubs everywhere, which is not possible, and again transporting from that hub to the customer's house may take more time, and you will have to employ more delivery boys. Now, if you tie up with these local good kirana walas, who will be given some commission on their job is just to maintain the stock and deliver it to the people in their catchment area. So this type of networking by the online retailers, is it a way out of surmounting this challenge?
You are absolutely right. Actually, as we speak, Flipkart has already initiated this, I think 2 years back, tying up with the local mom and pop stores. Amazon has started that. And the entire business model of JioMart is on that. So if you read Mr. Mukesh Ambani's statement in the last AGM of Reliance Industries, RIL, he spoke about this model for Reliance Retail Limited going forward through JioMart, that they will make sure all local kirana and mom and pop stores will have a presence on JioMart platform. And if so, now I want to order anything from Cheda store, I can go to JioMart, order Cheda Andheri West, and it will be delivered through delivery fulfilled by, so technology backend support by JioMart, delivery fulfillment by the local. So absolutely right. Flipkart is doing that, Amazon, but again the scalability has not is a question mark. But I think with the entry of Reliance, when Reliance takes up something in terms of project management, they do it within a specific period of time. And with WhatsApp, we just discussed with WhatsApp investing, Facebook investing, taking a stake of 10% in Jio is a big news for and it will structurally it will have a structural shift in the retail ecosystem of India for sure.
Okay. So now, given this aspect, don't you think then that you just mentioned that the future offline retail will be more of an experience store? People may come there to have an experience of the product, understand the product maybe much better, because many people still are not very comfortable in without the touch and feel to have that comfort level. So they would like to actually have the touch and feel, get that experience of how to use the product, and maybe they may place the order, but the delivery will be done by some other party, the fulfillment, as you just mentioned, by a local dealer or a player over there near his house.
Absolutely right. Like last week I did a post on LinkedIn on the same stuff, that for utilitarian products, we will still go to online. So like diaper for my daughter. So I need not go every time to the store and buy. So I know on Amazon, I can immediately order those diapers, and there is no rocket science when it comes to ordering a diaper, right? I know the size, medium or large or small, looking at the age of my daughter, 2 year or 3 year, and I can do that. So for utilitarian or a commodity product, I still prefer online thing in terms of convenience and price. For hedonic product, where I need the sense, I need that experience, the touch and feel, the overall store ambience, I will still prefer to go to the store. Might be I need an immediate gratification, so I'll buy it immediately there. Or again, in omni-channel capability, I have the kiosk, online kiosk of the same brand within the store, or might be a third-party fulfillment. So I'll order there, and it will be delivered immediately on the same day, or maybe the other day. from the same brand or from some alliance or fulfillment company. Absolutely right. So omni-channel is the way forward, right?
Okay, so yes, so that means offline retail is would be more adding to the brand building of that particular store. It will
Yes.
be more related to that rather than actually selling the product per se.
Yes.
So
So it will more of the retail will more of a marketing function than a selling function. I think
selling function,
more of a
yeah,
brand building function, less of a
yeah,
selling
yeah,
function. That's what
selling
I
function.
foresee going forward.
Uh, And now coming to the categories, there have been some categories as we had discussed at the beginning of this interaction that some
Hmm.
are seeing a huge growth, some are seeing a dip. So,
Hmm.
means what are your views? Which categories you think will see a surge in the say, as we were saying, we don't know about what will happen a year down, but maybe with the onset of the festive season. That is the minimum earliest that we can see where we hope as a retailer things will boost up for all of us. And which will see a
So
dip, which may not pick up at all, even with the advent of the festive season.
again, so this is what I'm saying from my personal example and my personal experience, observing my family, my friends, what they're talking and what they're discussing. So first is, I think when you started this session, you mentioned about fashion sales going down. So globally, fashion sales is down by 35% globally across the world. Luxury is down by 60%. Of course, we all know Gucci,
Yes.
Prada, Louis Vuitton, Salvatore Ferragamo, Pucci. But in fashion, see, I see that party wear, ethnic wear, beach wear will not sell, and is any which is not there are no updates. But when it comes to sleepwear, I was taking some figure. Sleepwear has seen some positive trends because throughout the day we are at home. Okay, might be most of us like 12 hours in sleeping mode. Casual wear, okay, comfort wear like the likes of sports wear which we wear at home.
At
These
home.
categories are at home categories, so are witnessing a change in terms of positive. Second is beauty and makeup. So that sales have gone up because now people have started experimenting at their house in terms of beautification or makeup, those kind of stuff. Third category, a lot of how should I say, exotic, uh, lot of exotic food products in terms of different types of cheese, different types of sauces, different types of breads. So I know so many people who are experimenting with making pizzas, brown breads, garlic bread,
Yes, yeah.
banana bread at their home. So I think that is also seeing a upward trend. So there is I say a food chain. So climbing up the food chain. So during the lockdown one, we were like hoarding basic staple goods, rice, dal, atta, chawal, whatever brand or unbranded. Second was hoarding the soap, shampoos, and all. Third is where we are experimenting with the premiumization. So I was reading a blog post by Mr. Damodar Mal, a LinkedIn post, where he was saying the more we stay at home, the more is a premiumization of our kitchen. So that I think is a reality. So that might see an upset, but only might be in metros and emerging metros, or might be tier one cities. And again on fashion, I mentioned these. During festive season, one category which will get a boost is again a puja samagri category, which is not online as of now. Because see, in India we have 36, we say 36,000 crore Devi Devta, right? In Hindi, what we say.
Yes. Yes.
तो एक देवता या एक भगवान के अगर एक कैटेगरी एक प्रोडक्ट भी हो तो 36,000 SKUs हो जाएगा.
हो जाएंगे.
So online can never do that for sure. That only can be done offline. So Ganpati is coming up in Mumbai very soon. I think in August or September. So that
Yes.
will be offline. That can't be online. So that is the opportunity there for the online. And again, might be an opportunity for online also if they can sell puja samagri specifically to a need of local state or local profile. For sure, they will see some traction there.
Yes, as far as you were mentioning, food is concerned, yes, people are apprehensive of placing orders from hotels, and that's
Right,
why the shift to making at home.
right,
And when it comes to making at home, in order also to beat the boredom or the anxiety caused by staying indoors because of COVID, people are ready to experiment and try out with new recipes. So these have really impacted the way people are utilizing their time in kitchen. That is there. So this will obviously see a growth. But say for example, I just have got some information. I have seen that many of the ladies have been organizing online kitty parties where each cook their food, as you were saying, the best food or which one they have experimented with, and online they showcase, though they eat their own food, okay, but then it is showcasing that what you have cooked, bhai tumne kya banaya, and they wear their best dresses. So the party wears, since they cannot go out, they are trying to utilize their party wear, their wardrobe, now wearing it indoors itself and running online kitty parties. So people are finding out ways and means where they can actually splurge and try to break this boredom and beat this bout of anxiety and stress which they are witnessing at this point of time. So that may also see a surge. For example, I was talking to someone and he said that in China, after the lockdown ended, there was what we call a revenge shopping. People were confined to their homes and they ran out and they said this by this. So maybe that can also happen, though it will be of a very low level, because in India we are witnessing a lot of joblessness. So obviously people are more concerned with savings at this point of time rather than indulging in expending something. So that may be there, but overall, yes, that would be there. But do you think that as far as consumer durables and electronics is concerned, do you see a dip in their sales in the festive season, given the problem with China?
Okay, so there are two viewpoints on this. So 3 weeks back, I've been visiting one electronic stores. I think I visited 4 times there. One to upgrade. Upgrade, actually, my washing machine went off, so I had to buy a new washing machine because we are washing our own clothes now. So in India, this system. So I think people in developed countries will not understand. But in India, life without maids are very difficult, especially for when the couple is working, right? So then now we are doing your own jhadu pocha, cleaning your own house, washing your own utensils, washing your own clothes. So we have to, we can't live with washing machine now. So we have to. So I went there. I had to buy one printer for because since it's work from home, and 2-3 more stuff. Every time I visited the electronic store, trust me, professor, the store was jam packed. Of course, they were trying their best to follow the social distancing norm, but there was queue outside their store. Okay, and of course, they're opening only every alternate day, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And then I asked the store manager about the sales and all. He was like, a same pre-COVID level ke jaisa hai abhi. I'm talking about June.
Achha. Okay.
Then, luckily, coincidentally, one person from stock market shared the views of Mr. Gupta, who is the founder or founder of Vijay Sales, and of course the promoter with Vijay Sales, Nanu Gupta and family, Mr. Nanu Gupta and family. Yes. He was like, we are witnessing around 75 to 80% of sales in consumer durables at pre-COVID level. Okay. But the concern is it a pent-up demand? Might be because last 3 months, because he was saying, the store manager, sir, लोग वही सामान खरीद रहे हैं जो खराब पड़ा है, जो अभी नहीं चल रहा है. So my microwave is not working, OTG is not working. So we have come only to buy that. They buy that and they go. So average billing, average shopping time has gone down because we only go with a preconceived planning. We'll go, ये लेना है. Average price, average conversion has gone up because we are not going to just do time pass in a store. We're just going with a specific purpose to shop and exit the store. But again, as you rightly mentioned, this is a pent-up demand. Will it sustain in festive season? That's a question to be answered, I think, in the next 1 or 2 months. Second, when it comes to China, so I think this thing is going on across the border, which is often when two countries, two superpowers are tussling, especially when we are neighbors. And when we are neighbors, then it becomes a thing, and especially when it comes to consumer durables. So let me give you a different viewpoint. Compressors, right? AC compressors. China, if I'm not wrong, China is the only country which manufactures AC compressors. So
Okay.
if the word says we will not take compressors from China, I think it will be difficult for us to run our ACs. I think so. That is a compressor factory of the world when it comes to China. I'm talking about AC compressor, like mobile accessories. So the LCD on your mobile, 99% of the LCDs of the mobile phone in the world are getting manufactured in China. So as soon as there are restrictions, so this might affect the price immediately. But again, that doesn't stop us to become Atmanirbhar when it comes to India. Because end of the day, the whole idea of Atmanirbhar is to make sure we are a self-sustaining economy.
Yes.
Even current India is a self-sustaining economy because we are not too much dependent on developed economies. So even if there is a hit on the US market, or because it's a domestic-driven economy in India because of the population. So only thing is when it comes to manufacturing capabilities, it might take some time, but with the government support and with the big entrepreneurs coming in the manufacturing side, I think within 2 to 3 years we should be able to cover that gap. And in terms of pricing, so just to directly answer the question, immediately I think there will be might be a dip in consumer durable because of the spike in the price of the electronic goods, and second is because of unemployment, salary cuts, no employment, the propensity to spend has gone down. So next 6 months will be very challenging, whether it is consumer durable, whether it is fashion, whether it is apparel, luxury, for across all these categories. That's what my personal opinion is.
So, finally, what is the way forward? For example, for retail. For example, I heard one school of thought which was of the opinion that let us reduce our existence in the mall for the modern retail, increase our presence online, and expand in tier 2 cities and 3 cities by opening up the small stores like high street at the stores as such. So, what is your opinion regarding what should be the way forward for the modern retail in India to actually sustain in the post-COVID era?
See, Pankaj, you have already answered this question very well. So, digital transformation, especially more impetus on online. Online again, B2C, direct to customer through your own website or through marketplaces. Second is tapping the untapped market of tier 2 and tier 3 cities, maybe rural economy also.
Okay.
Yes, I think there are some
Yes.
problems here.
Yes. Please
Okay,
carry on.
okay. So of online going tapping the untapped market of tier 2 and tier 3 cities, maybe some rural parts of the country. Uh, Third thing is what you rightly mentioned. Small is the new big. We say small is the new black. So earlier, you say 19 from 1960s till 1990s in US, it was like big box, large stores. Now in last 10 years, the big box has shrunk. The average store size has shrunk because your sales per square feet is higher, your conversion rate is higher, your cost of operation is higher. Even the inventory which you need to carry in the store goes down. So overall, your operational efficiency takes a leapfrog jump when you go to small store concept. So I think small is the new big for most of the retailers. It was happening since last 5 years, but it will accelerate going forward. Looking
No.
at the COVID. One more, I think, way forward is to bucket the cost, good cost and bad cost. So bad cost we have to eliminate immediately, all retailers. So we can't afford to have bad cost going forward. Good cost, of course, we have to, because good cost is not a cost, is an investment which you need to occur for your business. I think alliances will be also going forward. Going on, a lot of alliances is going to happen. See, Walmart. You see, last 1 month, Walmart has partnered with ThreadUp. So ThredUp is the biggest company when it comes to second-hand apparel in US, right? We say refurbished apparel. How we sell refurbished phones, they have tied up with Shopify, right? Then Amazon has tied up with a company in UK for investing in startup. I don't remember the name of the company. In Europe, it is happening. And in India, whether it was between Zomato or ITC or Wow Momo going to Wow Momo with Cafe Coffee Day. So many, or you can say Facebook with Jio. So a lot of alliances, mergers and acquisition, consolidation is going to happen way forward across retail, whether it is India, North America, Middle East, Europe, or China. That's, I think, is the way forward for the retail as such.
Okay, sir. So you have given a good insight to the way forward for modern retail. That is what we are looking for at this point of time. How to get out of this chaos created by COVID and go back to our normal life as fast as possible. I am extremely grateful to you, sir, for joining us and giving your viewpoint, and thanking you again for sparing your valuable time. Thank you again, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Praveen. Thank you.